Hey Slayers, what's up? It's your girl Tiana, the Swagslayer, here on another fresh episode of the Swagslayer Baackstage with Buchanan from the Buck Effect. Today, we're going to be talking about NFTs, and specifically, what is an NFT? Don't forget, we're not professionals. We're not lawyers, financial advisors, or anything else fun like that. So always consult a professional when dealing with these types of products to get expert advice on what you should or shouldn't do, because everyone's situation is different. Hey, Buchanan, how are you today?
What's good? What's good?
Yes, glad to have you back. So today we're talking about NFTs. And I know you've been investing in them and reading about them and dabbling in them here and there for quite a while now. So it's so fresh and so new. Tell us a little bit about what an NFT is.
I'm glad you asked. So, NFT, just like cryptocurrencies, are multiple things in one. The first thing that it is a non-fungible token, which is basically just like any other crypto token. The difference is um, it's non-fungible. So, every token is completely different from another. And that's a good thing because that makes it very scarce. And the more scarce something is, the more valuable it could potentially become. The next thing it is also a smart contract, just like cryptocurrencies are. The difference between this smart contract of an NFT and regular crypto tokens or cryptocurrencies is that it has the ability to allow the creator or the person who has the license of that specific NFT to collect royalties, which is very important when it comes to copyrights and legalities and stuff like that. And lastly, it's also a form of digital certificate or ownership, kind of like a deed that proves that you own that specific property, and that is very important. And you could think of all the implications that would bring in the future
Yeah.
for people who want to purchase any type of property, from software to physical properties as well.
Awesome. So my question is, and just to clarify and correct me if I'm wrong, a fungible token means all the tokens are exactly the same. Like if I had a dollar bill is a dollar bill is a dollar bill. But a non fungible token means it's uniquely different from the other non fungible tokens. Is this correct?
Exactly. Just like,
Awesome.
when you're using a dollar bill, everyone knows exactly what a dollar bill looks like. No one questions, hey, is this a real dollar bill? And if there was any issues, the government specifically puts things on the dollar bill to verify that it is legit.
Awesome, awesome. So I just wanted to clarify and make sure. So cool. So now know a little bit more about what an NFT is. Can you tell the Slayers how an NFT works?
Yeah, so how NFTs work, typically there will be a platform. It's a form of code, just like cryptocurrencies are, and it is a smart contract. But there's different places where you can implement this contract on the internet, and that brings us to, well, how NFTs work. I would also say when it comes to NFTs, how it would work is pretty much you're storing, well, there's three ways actually you can create an NFT. The first way is you can store the actual um, content, which would be, let's say, for example, a picture, a song, a GIF. Um, you can store that content on the blockchain with the metadata.
Okay.
With, okay, and that's the most secure way of actually making an NFT, because when you're storing it on the blockchain, you got to remember how blockchains work. And if you don't, I'll just give a little short version. When you put stuff on a blockchain, there are maybe tens of thousands or maybe even millions of people around the world that have a copy of everything on the blockchain, or a copy of everything on the ledger, right? So if your server goes down, there's potentially thousands or millions of other receipts or ledgers showing that you own that NFT or you created it and when you actually created it, or whoever's the last owner of it. And that's very important when it comes to ownership and proving that you own something. The next way is you can actually put the metadata only on the blockchain, which is basically just information letting the internet and computers who are communicating with the smart contract to know where you're storing the actual content or media, whether that's the song or picture or 3D model. And you can store that content on a decentralized server like an IPFS, or you can store it on a centralized server like AWS or Azure through Microsoft. It's up to you.
Gotcha. And Slayers, make sure that you slay that subscription button and that notification bell, because we're going to have a future episode on what is metadata. So if you need to know what metadata is, you're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you stay tuned. So
And
now that we
just to give you a little background, IPFS stands for Interplanetary, I believe, file system, which is basically kind of like, you remember back in the day when a lot of people were, well, I guess people still do it. They go on BitTorrent and they download files, maybe legally or illegally, depending on whether, how the copyright of that file is. Well, that's a form of a decentralized server system or file system.
Awesome. Good to know. Thank you. So now that we know what an NFT is and how an NFT works, I have to know, where can I get one of these NFTs?
And that's a great question. So there are constantly new ways where you can purchase these NFTs. A lot of times there are platforms that are already in play. Give you an example. You have Vivi with and allows a person with literally no background in crypto to be able to purchase NFTs with US dollars, your PayPal, or your Google Android account through the marketplace. It makes it very simple. Even your grandmother could use it, and that's very important. Trying to get mass adoption. Also, you have other platforms like Rarible, you have the Centraland, you have Nifty Gateway, Immutable X, but also taking consideration when purchasing NFTs, depending on what blockchain it uses, or it's minted on or created on, and where you're purchasing it, there can be fees, with that, and that will depend on which blockchain they use.
But correct me again if I'm wrong. On Vivi, there are no fees. Like, you just pay in gems. So you buy gems with your dollars, and then you use your gems to purchase the NFTs, correct?
Well, technically there is fees, but the buyer's not paying it. It's the seller who pays the
Right.
fee.
So again, we're talking about, where can we get one? We are the buyer. So there's not a fee for the buyer on Vivi to purchase the NFTs. Yes?
Correct.
Awesome. Also, I wanted to ask you, I didn't hear you mention OpenSea. Is that a place that you can buy an NFT?
Yep. OpenSea is definitely a large, one of the largest. I would say between OpenSea and Rarible and Immutable X, those are some of the top places to purchase, NFTs that are made by, individual people. Because anyone, like we said, anyone can create an NFT.
And that is my next question. I want to remind you guys, of course, we're not professionals, financial advisors, lawyers, or investment anything. So always make sure you speak to someone who's a professional about any of these asset classes if you're interested in participating in one of them. So my next question is, can I create my own NFT?
Definitely, yeah. You can create an NFT, and there's all different ways of doing that. At this point, I mean, when NFTs were first created, they were way more complicated. Usually a programmer would be, a person who would, be the types of people who would create NFTs in the beginning. But now, I mean, it's been streamlined, for it to be pretty simple for a common person to do. You're mainly at this point just uploading your content to be stored as a particular file for NFTs to be shared or
Very nice.
transferred.
That's good to know because so many people have their own awesome things that they've put together, whether they're videos or photos, 2D or 3D, because we all have talents, but we're not like some big artist or big company. So it's good to know that we can create our own NFTs. Again, make sure you select that subscription button, that notification bell if you're watching over on YouTube or following on the podcast if you're listening with us today, because we're going to also do a future episode on how you can create an NFT, where you can create one, and do a step-by-step for you. So you definitely don't want to miss that. So Buchanan, I have to know, because you're the guy with the answers to the questions, what's your favorite NFTs to buy and what's your favorite platform to use?
Well, out of all the platforms out there, I think mine's is my favorite is Vivi. And the reason for it is, they have over 300, licenses for, very famous brands from movies like Jurassic Parks, Star Wars, Star Trek, um,
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. I mean, DC Comics. They even have actual Marvel Comics reprints
Yes.
in NFT digital format.
That you can actually read. So it's not just the cover. You can actually read the comic.
Yeah, in AR as well, where it looks like a 3D image of a comic and you're flipping through pages.
And what is AR for the Slayers listening who don't know?
Augmented reality. Okay. Now, what separates Vivi from other platforms?
And really quickly, before you explain, how do you spell Vivi so they can Google it and find it?
Sure, it would be VEVE.
So V is in Victor, E is in Edward, V is in Victor, E is in Edward.
Correct.
Awesome.
And what Vivi really specializes is premium 3D animated collectibles or NFT collectibles. That's their special thing, where you can interact with it. They're supposed to be coming out with some new features where you're going to be able to do like selfies with some of your favorite characters, like Marvel characters, which I think is going to be huge, for posting on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat and stuff.
I look forward to that. I need a selfie with Batgirl. Like, she has herself taking a selfie of her, but I need to be in the selfie with her. I was like, they need to get my front camera working, because the back camera is the bomb, but the front camera is better.
Exactly. I can see a lot of memes in the future being created with this platform. So definitely, getting in on it in the beginning would probably help your, media content.
Yes. And for sure, for Slayers who are like, oh man, what's Vivi? How do I get into that? We're definitely going to do a future episode just about Vivi as well, where you can get started, how it works. Of course, if you're listening now, you can always download the app, create your account. That way you have your username and your account all set up. Try to sign in, once a week or so, pretty regularly, just so you're getting your hands on it. But we will do a step-by-step on, how to buy a collectible NFT or collectible comic, and like what you can do with them, how the marketplace works, and things like that. So the second part of the question was, what's your favorite NFTs to buy, Buchanan?
That's a really hard question. So if in the beginning, I would say one of my favorite that I purchased so far is Superman, Batman. I definitely would say. And now I would say comic books, just because, for me, well, I love Batman, I love Superman, but also, you got to think about what made those characters famous is the actual comic books.
Yeah.
And I mean, unlike some of these other platforms where, you have to pay maybe thousands of dollars on a drop of a particular NFT, a lot of these collectibles are like $6.
Yeah.
$10, $20, $15, starting off. Sometimes it could get like, a little bit higher, but, it's very affordable for the average Joe or Jane. Yeah. And, after the original drop, Vivi allows you to sell it on a second market within their platform. And eventually they're going to allow you to sell it on other platforms as well.
Yep. And I think that's a really cool thing because the price that they're putting it out for is very affordable. However, if you're a reseller, a person who wants to make money, make a profit, you can then sell it on the second market or the aftermarket for another amount. And even though right now, since VV is so new, is really can only be moved inside the platform, people are still selling them on other platforms and collecting the money on that platform and then just transferring you the NFT inside the VV platform because they are so new and they're working on so many things. They're not at the stage where you can take it off, but that's on their checklist of things to do where you're going to be able to take it off the VV platform. So I think that's very exciting. It's very awesome to know that, okay, later you'll be able to do that. And also with VV, they're going to create something called the VVverse. We're not going to talk about that today, but stay tuned because we definitely will be talking about different opportunities to purchase land in different NFT worlds, we'll call them, and we'll name those places and tell you where you can buy them and kind of how that works. So definitely stay tuned for that. I want to thank all the Slayers for coming to hang out on the Swagslayer Backstage. Thank you, Buchanan, for gracing us again with your presence. We are definitely going to be doing this on a regular basis. Excuse me. There's so much information out there that we all need to know. So I'm excited to research it and read about it and then bring to you what I find in my own experiences, what we've read about Buchanan as well. Definitely make sure that you are following him, utilizing the description box below. And make sure that you're following me over on Instagram as well at swagslayerfashion. And don't forget to sign up your 5 to 18-year-old into the Swagslayer Young Entrepreneurship class. January's class has already started, but March's class is enrollment is up and ready to go. And you can do that at swagslayerfashion.com. Thanks again, Slayers. We'll see you next time. Bye.